The Great Lakes face many dangers, even with the coming of a new decade. Today, the story continues.
Plus, we have the results from the senior class voting.
And winter break might be over for some of us, but for Davidson athletes, the hustle never stopped. DTV News starts right now.
Okay. They're going to be right here. On December 11th, the TV results or news special Great Lakes on the Good Afternoon Davidson. I'm Alex Booth-Morris.
And I'm Merritt Combs. Today we have the last individual story from our documentary. This story explores the nature of invasive species and how they harm the waters we know and love. To watch the Great Lakes on the brink in full, head to our website at dtvnews.org.
Being skittish and easily spooked by even the sound of a motor, they'll leap out of the water and have been known to injure people.
Of the 180 invasive species now threatening the Great Lakes, the Asian carp are making the biggest splash. They're growing and spreading like wildfire.
They become the dominant biomass in those systems. They can reproduce like mad, grow to enormous sizes, eat the ecosystems out of house and home.
Fish are not the only species that threaten the Great Lakes. Plants such as frogbit and purple loosestrife have planted their roots. Among the Asian carp, scientists are also worried about other species such as zebra and quagga mussels. They have spread through the lakes, and grass carp have already swam their way into Lake Erie. Another pest infecting the Great Lakes are sea lamprey. They are a parasitic fish that are so deadly to the native fish of the Great Lakes that they are in direct competition with human fishing.
Those are puncture marks from 60 pounds of suction per square inch, the teeth drawing into your hand like that.
They attach themselves directly to fish, bore a hole through the fish with a sharp tongue and feed it on the fish's blood and body fluids. They've caused irreparable harm to the food web.
Because of the measures scientists, lawmakers, and everyday people take to keep these destructive creatures back, the number of invasive species have decreased from its all-time high in 1993. For years, the solution of keeping the carp at bay has been simply fishing them out, but it might not be enough anymore. Scientists and engineers are working on converting a loch south of Chicago into a custom carp barrier.
Includes an engineered channel, so this area here in orange represents the engineered channel, which is downstream of the loch here. And then we'd have an electric barrier, some acoustics, and an air bubble curtain here to discourage fish from coming in with barges and so forth. The electric barrier would prevent those fish from coming up here into this chamber.
Project manager Andrew Lichty at United States Army Corps of Engineers knows just how much trouble the Great Lakes could be in.
So this is very important to the protection of the Great Lakes.
This $700 million plan has been sent to Congress for funding, but so far the money has not been granted. If the money comes through, it could take up to 12 years to finish designing and building this massive project. And even if the barrier is built, it might not keep every fish out.
We're fairly confident if we can have that layered system, all the measures put together, so there's still a slight risk that they could get through.
With this new barrier system in place, we might be able to stop the growing and spreading of the destructive carp that will continue to threaten the Great Lakes, possibly destroying their fragile ecosystems as we know them. Morgan Welch, DTV News.
To watch Great Lakes on the brink in full, head to our website at dtvnews.org.
Cool to care may be over, but the pizza are coming in. Drive-in or first-hour teachers pass out Cool to Care pizza cards. Delivers on our way, where and when to get your pizza are shown on these cards.
Before break, seniors voted for class song, motto, flower, and color. Here are the results. The flower is the maroon gerpom, while their class color is gold. For class song, the seniors voted for I Lived by One Republic. Finally, their class motto is the quote, I wish there was a way to know you were in the good old days before you actually left them, Annie Bernard.
Oh, Kate Lawrence has all the more coming up sports.
Although it's a little far away, you can start getting ready for the winter formal now before the dance begins on February 1st. Keep in mind it's just a semi-formal dance, but it's still a great chance to get together and have some fun. The winter sports season is in full swing, and as our basketball, hockey, and wrestling teams all took impressive victories.
DTV News is Davis's #1 student-run television station, covering your news, sports, and student life. Check out the latest stories and much more online at dtvnews.org. Look for the latest updates and get connected on our social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. And don't forget to check all of our videos on the DTV News YouTube page for game highlights, newscasts, concerts, and more. DTV News, Davis's #1 news station.
And then some. Davidson is going for the upset.
With that strong arm. Our Lady Cardinals balled out over break when it came time for the Motor City Roundball Classic. Good afternoon, Davison. I'm Kate Lawrence. Just before the new year came around, the girls took on Cass Tech and came away with a solid 53-47 win, with Anna Tomczak being awarded MVP for her performance. This marks the second win of the season for the girls, with their first coming in a late-game thriller against Lapeer in December. Tomorrow night, you can come see the ladies in action for yourselves as they take on Armada High at 7 on the home court. While our girls' basketball team was taking on Cass Tech, our wrestlers took to the mat at the Detroit Catholic Central Invite and brought home 5 wins. Aiden Williams, Alex Facundo, Andrew Shamble, Josh Barr, and Max Callahan all came away with first-place finishes in their weight class. The team as a whole finished second, only beaten by Detroit Catholic Central, being the only other team to earn over 200 points. If you want to catch the Cards at home, they will be taking on Lapeer, Grand Blanc, and Bay City Western on Wednesday night right here at DHS at 6. Just before we started off break, the boys and girls basketball teams hit the court against Powers. The girls trailed behind for the first half, but were able to gain their momentum as the night went on. Unfortunately, they lost by just 3 points to close out the night, 35-32. The boys were up next and were able to take a close victory to the Chargers. Let's take a look at the highlights. Brendan Sullivan dribbles up the court for a little bit, and then he finds Dan Coleman for a 3. Gavin Carpenter dribbles, passes to Densmore, who is defended by 2, and then finds McCarty for a 2. Then Powers had the ball, and it was Noah Bayless with the 3. Coleman dribbles to Densmore, to Carpenter, back to Densmore, back to Coleman for the bucket. Davison would go on to win 59-54. Senior Michael McCarty played an intense game with several back-to-back buckets. He says this win has all to do with the team's effort and ability to work well together.
It was great to get a win, but I don't know, we played a great team game. We had great ball movement. We started off hot, 7-0 run, but I don't know, we all came together as a team to get a good dub.
Michael and the rest of the team will be facing the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame Prep here on the home court. If you can't make it out, make sure to tune in to Charter Channel 191 for DTV's first live coverage of this basketball season. While our wrestling boys and boys and girls basketball teams took wins in their competitions over break, our hockey Cardinals were able to secure 3 wins. On December 21st, the Cardinals kicked off their winning streak by taking down the Swan Valley Vikings 5-2. They then followed it up with back-to-back victories this weekend. On Friday, they dominated the ice and brought down Kingsford 5-1, and on Saturday, they took a close victory over the Lakeland Eagles at 4-3. The hockey team's record now stands at 5-3 with 2 wins over Fenton Linden earlier this season. On Wednesday night, the team will be back in action against Powers Catholic at the Dordt Federal Event Center at 7. Our Cardinal athletes have lots scheduled this week to kick off our first week back. On Tuesday, our bowlers will be hitting the lanes at Northern Lanes at 5:30. At 6, our boys will be diving into the deep end at Brandon High School, and at 7, our Lady Cards will tip off right here at DHS against the Armada Tigers. On Wednesday, our wrestlers will be hitting the mats at 6 here at home, and at 7, the puck will drop for our hockey team as they take on the Powers Catholic Chargers at Dordt Federal Event Center. Now I'll send it over to our first weather forecast of the year. Hey, Trevor, how are the slopes looking this week?
Well, it looks like they're looking okay. Seems like today's the only day it's going to be really sunny out. What's up, Davidson? It's Trevor Turney here to give you the weather for the forecast for this week. All right, so start off here on good old Monday. It's going to be a high of 40 and a low of 29 and kind of sunny. On Tuesday, it's going to be a high of 39 and a low of 19 with some clouds. On Wednesday, it's going to be a high of 25 and a low of 17 with some clouds. On Thursdays, there's going to be it's going to be a high of 41 and a low of 39 with some PM showers. And on Friday, finally, it's going to be a high of 50 and a low of 32 with some showers. Well, Davidson, that'll be it for your weather for this week. Have a good one.
Community service has our available, and if you look to help our community in trying help out in community, or even try to make our cap and gown face with those wild cards, you can head down to the main office. You can also click out school shipping options and see what fewer may take you. And senior, if you have any questions down info, you can head down to see Miss Addison in the main office for more info.
You can also just head to dtvnews.org and check out our Student Life tab for the same opportunities. And while you're on there, check out Great Lakes on the Brink and all of our behind-the-scenes features. Then, if you want to see what DTV has been up to, or even catch up on all things Davidson, follow us on social media. Our Twitter and Instagram are both DTV_official. There you can see the latest DTV Choose polls and updates on upcoming events. You can also follow us on our Facebook page and YouTube page at DTV News to see concerts, football games, or highlights.
For this week, DTV Choose what we went to ask to do to believe in the big foot. Maybe you liked a little more proof, but you're open to see the ideas. Maybe you think just meth. You can head out over to the our Twitter, or vote on what you really believe. For this week, DTV Choose, we went to ask to do believe in the big foot. Maybe you did like a little more proof, but you're open to ideas. Maybe you think he's just meth. You can head over to our Twitter and order.
So what'd you guys do over break?
I had flu, so I basically sat in bed all day and just, waiting to recover. So.
It was pretty good. I got sick over the weekend, and yeah, that was hopefully my Christmas break.
Well, I was over at over at my friend's house for New Year's. Well, I'm Merrick Combs, along with Alex McMorris and Trevor Cherney. Have a good day, Davidson.